Hello, I've got a fair Maiden with me from Foley Brothers. This is the last can that I have from, I guess it was like 3 different ones that I got 2 weeks ago. The first round of cans they've sent to the Boston area, and it seems like all these cans they sent were much fresher than the bottles. I did a review of this like 2 years ago from the bottle, and found it kind of boring. I'm guessing it wasn't very fresh. This one's probably not much more than a month old. The other cans I had, seemed very fresh. So this is their like standard double IPA. It seems like this is the one that's like more available than any other beers. I mean, I've had it a couple times. The first time I ever had it, I was impressed. That was back when it came in like half-liter swing top bottles a long time ago. Then the next couple times, I wasn't so impressed. Maybe it wasn't very fresh. So let's check it out now. I don't know what hops are in it, but I feel like there's some newer way of hops. Either Citra or Mosaic or something. Ooh, I already get a tropical whiff out of there. And it's 8.2% alcohol. And ooh, a little bit hazy. Actually, that's hazier than most of theirs. Ooh, but we have some chunks that have developed in the can. So it's not crazy fresh. The other cans I had not developed chunks yet. Of course, yeah, sometimes when beers are canned, they can have chunks in them, but it seems like since Foley does the less hazy kind of beers, they're more like the Alchemist, where like if you get it really fresh, it's a little bit clearer, but then it develops chunks after a while as the hop oils fall out of solution. But it looks pretty good. If you hold it up to the light, then you can see the chunks, but hold it like that, you can't really see them. Has a pretty nice head. And a very candied citrus aroma, lots of lime. And maybe some like unripe pineapple. Slight green notes, but mainly from like the lime. It's like a lime and I want to say cilantro, but it's not that. But it's pretty close to that. Because, cilantro, some people think it's kind of grassy, but kind of soapy. And you get those same characteristics from hops, too, sometimes. Not a huge aroma, just a very slight lemony pine sort of thing. It doesn't smell oxidized yet. I think it's still in perfectly good shape. That's nice, not too bitter. Because some of Foley's IPAs are bracingly bitter, like West Coast style bitter. This is definitely more in the New England style. It's not exactly juicy. It's very nice and clean. A really, really, really clean beer. Really easy to drink. No weird flaws or anything. And it lingers with peachy, pineapple-y. It's actually a little bit more like ripe tropical fruits in the taste. And the feel is not super thick, but it has a good amount of body. For sure. Kind of a juicy feel, actually. I'm impressed. I almost kind of forgot about this in my fridge. I was like, uh-oh. Hopefully, like, the 2.5 weeks that I've held on to this, it hasn't gone straight downhill. Because I was really impressed by Skeleton Crew. And not as much Citrennial, but Skeleton Crew and what's the other IPA that I got? Can't remember now, but this one is really, really nice. Yeah, it's weird. It's like more citrusy, limey, and all that in the aroma. But then more tropical stone fruit in the taste. Very, very, very light pine. Very light menthol. The menthol quality might build up a little bit after a while. And does have some actual IBUs going on. Not chalky at all. Not quite velvety feel on the tongue. And not quite super thick, juicy, soft or fluffy, but a really nice, substantial, smooth feel, even though smooth is like one of the words I hate the most when people use it to describe beer, because what does it mean, you know? You describe Budweiser as smooth, but you describe an Imperial Stout as smooth. That's a different kind of smooth, right? The aroma is not really busting out of this, but it's not difficult to pick up some good flavors out of there. And the bitterness is just staying below what I was expecting, but I can feel it in the back of my tongue kind of building up. And this will be pretty bitter, I think, after I finish most of the can. But I give this, at least a 4, solid 4+ on this beer. Way better than my last review. I didn't even watch my last review, but it'll be nice to compare it. See if I thought that it was old and oxidized. Because Foley Brothers, they don't put any dates or anything on these, and it's really hard to figure out when the batches were made if you try to pay attention to their social media. That's why I've actually avoided them for a while. But now that they're sending fresh cans here, I am happy, and I will become a more regular customer of their beer because they really know what they're doing. Like, I haven't had any obvious flaws in their beers, you know, like weird aftertastes, unpleasant things, you know, diacetyl. They didn't mess up one batch years ago. I think it was their Mutiny IPA. They had like a Brett infected batch. I remember that was like that was almost 2 years ago. But that seems like it's a different outlier. That's like a total, like a mess up that's something that's like infection, as opposed to they just didn't know what they're doing in the brewing process and messed up and diacetyl came out. That's like more of an outside influence getting in. Yeah, that's the only thing I've noticed in terms of flaws with them. So yeah, I would highly recommend Fair Maiden. It might not be quite as good as Skeleton Crew and Prospect, but it's still very worth it. I would snag a can if you see it, for sure. Goodbye.